Hey everyone, it's Coach Asha here, coming at you with something totally different today. Wanted to take a moment to just really talk about why I became a teacher and what inspired me to choose this as a career. I became a teacher because I believe in the power of words to make individuals more empathetic and the world an easier place to live in. I grew up with this understanding largely from where I came from. I come from a line of educators and ministers. Growing up around words and ideas in my father's study, not only was I predisposed to it in my blood, it was my surroundings. And so kind of a story that exemplifies the way that I always felt liberated to express myself through words and try to help others do that is when I was a kid, 9 years old. My family and I moved to South Africa for a few months, and I went to school there for a time. And it was the very first time I had ever confronted myself in a way that was non-American. That was very new for me. With my father being a professor, he was at a university, and so we lived in this very diverse neighborhood in Pretoria, South Africa, where there were kids who looked like me but were nothing like me. And having grown up in the United States, that is such a new idea, right? People who look like me oftentimes come from very similar cultures and or American culture. But this was new. This was a new experience, and I had to put myself out there and I had to try new things. And one of the ways I was able to do this was in school. It was when I went to school, I had teachers that tried to support me. I had made new friends. I bonded with people over things we were doing in class, literature, language, all of that. And it became such a core part of me because I had nothing else to bond with others over. I was so disconnected because I was so young. I was from another country, and these kids had the advantage. And so I learned and humbled myself through the power of language, through words, and largely in school-related activities. That was such an inspiration for me when I look back on what I wanted to do in high school. I didn't actually know if I wanted to be a lawyer or if I wanted to be a teacher. And so what ended up happening is I did both. I went to college and I ended up studying law and working in schools with kids. And so what ended up happening is that I realized I loved what I was doing. I had an opportunity to bond with students from around the world in Washington, D.C. over poetry and short stories and books. And I loved what I was doing, and I felt like we were able to connect, me and these students, and they were seventh graders at the time. And so a lot of that informed my desire to be a teacher, in particular, a high school English teacher. And so much of that still shows up. So between my family and between my own bonding over the power of words and literature, I really found who I was. And I realized that the more I read books, the more I related to other people. And the less I was reading, the less tolerant I was of other people. And so that is why I do what I do. I love being a teacher because you get the rare opportunity to have focused kids in a room whose only job is to learn and to connect and bond with others. And I get the privilege of being a facilitator of that process and helping kids fall in love with reading and falling in love with ideas and words and things that are bigger than us, that connect us ultimately. And so I just wanted to come on here and share that bit with you because I think it's really important to know why you do what you do. And as a teacher, oftentimes it can be confusing and it can be trying. Because there's so much happening in the ecosystem of a school. And so it can be easy to get lost in the sauce. And so I just wanted to come on here and share that with you, why I do what I do. Why am I here helping you? I'm here because I care. And I think that like-minded people should come together and try to help other people. Personal favorite poet and novelist, writer, etc., extraordinaire, is Zora Neale Hurston, who's been such an inspiration for me. So I want to begin by reading a poem called Passion that was written in 1922, and it's actually my favorite poem, and I think it encompasses the mood of why I became a teacher and the spirit of who I am and where I come from, and why I do what I do. So excuse me while I look away from the camera and read this poem to you. I encourage you to look it up and digest it in your own time because it's really a fabulous set of words. Passion. When I look back on days already lived, I'm content, for I have laughed with the dew of morn, the calm of night, with the dawn of youth and spring's bright days, midsummer's bloom and autumn's ripening glory. My youth rejoiced. And when winter bleak spread melancholy round, I still smiled on. And I have loved with quivering arms that clung and throbbing breast with all the white hot blood of mating flaming urge. My cool white soul has oft fared forth in astral ways, for none may lag when stardust hides the earth. The wing of dreams have swept me up to touch my feet on cloud and wander where none but souls dare climb. So thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for following this content. If you want to share your own story about why you became a teacher, please comment. I would love to hear about this. I would love to facilitate that community of teachers explaining why they wanted to do what they do. Why are we all here? So thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't done that yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you all next time.